Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Bed Hair Extraordinaire Does Movies. I'm your host, Ryan D, and here are my co-hosts. Say hello, guys.
Hi, guys.
Yo.
Yeah. Let's start with Rhi. Hi, Rhi.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
My name is Rhi.
Totally put you on the spot then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I knew it was coming.
Oh my god, are you
Fine.
Scottish?
Oh my god, what does the D stand for? Dickhead?
Oh, straight in there. Did you write that in advance?
No, but I was waiting.
I thought so. Okay.
Waiting.
I apologise. Tell us about yourself. What do you do?
So I'm Rhi. I'm a local filmmaker. Not so much at the minute. I'm also a media lecturer, meaning I teach 16 to 9-year-olds how to make really bad films and then end up working at McDonald's. Other than that, I'm just, regular person.
Well, we will decide on that for you. But
mother of two, crazy nut jobs. So I'll probably mention them a lot.
When was the last time you slept?
No, I do sleep. We all
good.
sleep. It's good.
Speaking back about your students, though, you do have some success stories. At least
There are
they're in the industry, aren't they? Somewhat?
Yeah. We've had, but it is the people who push themselves, who actually go out and find opportunities themselves, as well as having the skills and experience. And that's like you cannot come and do a level 3 in media and just expect to walk into a job.
Yeah, because media is one of those jobs. Like when I left upper school, I was like, oh man, job, college. I went to college and did music tech because it just seemed like one of those easy subjects to do. And I can imagine there's a lot of media students that do that. Bit like Matey and Peep Show. That's like there's just no media jobs at the moment.
Yeah.
So I imagine you have to push yourself.
Yeah, it's a lot. Just we'll go to university and do something else.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's move on to Roberto.
All right, sir.
My good friend Rob. You got nothing to do with movies, have you?
No, not really.
Why the fuck are you even here?
I like to drink.
But you're on a... What are you drinking?
Lychee. Sparkling lychee.
Is there any gin in it or anything like that?
No, not after I drank all the gin that is in Bedford yesterday. So,
okay, and he didn't invite us.
I wasn't
brilliant.
Sorry.
But there is a reason why you're here.
Yes, I love a film, and as you know, I set myself a stupid challenge once to watch 1,000 movies in a year.
When was that?
A couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
And I completed it, and I documented it, and I wrote down every one of those films in order.
Wow.
I am that much of a geek. So
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, off the top of your head, worst film out of the 1,000?
Avatar.
See, that's something we're going to discuss, isn't it?
Yeah.
Films that have lots of praise, but Rob doesn't like.
Yeah. I don't like a lot of things, so we're going to have lots
Yeah.
of material.
I mean, were they 1,000 films that you wanted to see, or did you did you have any kind of process to choosing them?
I have a very large DVD collection. I have around...
Show off.
Well, it's the only large thing. About 850 films on DVD.
So you were missing 150 then, weren't you? Must have had
Yeah,
to,
so I just streamed them, went on Sky and just filled them up. But
legally downloaded them.
Obviously, legally downloaded them.
Yeah, okay. Brilliant. All right, well, we look forward to talking about that more. So, I mean, in general, what is the podcast about? Well, obviously, it is about movies. We'll discuss old movies. We'll discuss new movies, movie news. We're going to debate stuff. We're going to talk about movies that we feel slipped under the radar and deserve some limelight. We'll talk about our favourite and worst actors. And the same with films, favourite, worst films, etc. But we also want to start small. Have humble beginnings and really bring Bedford into the limelight. Especially after it was described by John Oliver as a scrappy town. I think there's a little bit more to Bedford than just being a scrappy little town, John Oliver. Do you know I know John Oliver? Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Technically know him. Well, my sister went to school with him. And I never spoke to him or was in a room
So
with
you don't
him.
know him?
Well, no. I mean, my sister went to... we're practically brothers.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, he was actually in a school production at Mark Rutherford called... Dracula Spectacular, and I'm 99% sure he's in it, and I've got it on videotape somewhere. Ooh. So I could actually share that.
And then we have to find a VHS player.
And yeah. So we need to go to one of Bedford's many famous car boot sales. Anyway, moving on from John Oliver, he gets enough time.
Yeah, he's got his own show.
Yeah, exactly. Go away, John Oliver. So yeah, Bedford. So we're going to want to talk about obviously the Bedford movie scene. There is a Bedford movie scene. There's actually quite a lot going on with Bedford within the film industry. So we'll talk about that. But we also really want to give local bands and artists a bit of a platform to share some of their music and whatnot with all the wonderful residents of Bedfordia.
And beyond.
And beyond, of course, but we're going to start small. So today, for instance, we've got a singer-songwriter. We're going to play him about halfway through this show, and we'll have some links to all his different social medias and whatnot. And also, we would like to sample local beers whilst enjoying whilst recording the podcast. So, again, about halfway through, we'll crack open some beers from Brewery Z.
And that's the main reason I'm here.
Yes. Rob asked for money, and I said no, but there will be beer. And he said, all right then.
I don't like beer.
And that's fine. I should have got you an Iron Brew.
Oh, yeah.
I love Iron Brew.
That's not
And you're not
racist.
Scottish.
Iron Brew sorbet is the one.
Do you know, I haven't actually told you about myself. So
Matches your
I
colour,
am a wedding videographer mainly, but obviously, again, love movies. Consider myself somewhat of a filmmaker, but again, mainly do weddings. But I filmed a wedding in Scotland recently. So talking about Iron Brew, they were pissed off about the sugar content in Iron Brew because they've obviously the sugar tax has gone into place in Scotland, and so now Iron Brew has replaced all the sugar with all those things they put into soft drinks to make it taste like sugar. Furious they was. It ruined the wedding. Didn't really. Should we crack on with the first subject?
Yes, Mr.
Have I rambled enough?
I'm sure you will more.
Okay. Well, we're going to crack on straight away with something that we're all really, really passionate about. And that is universally debated. No, I'll say that again. Universally hated, but debated. And that is, of course, the DC Universe. When I say DC Universe, what do you think?
Batman.
Lots of black everywhere.
Lots of black?
Yeah, dark.
Gothic?
Yeah,
What, so are you thinking like Tim Burton 80s Batman?
pretty much.
Or are you thinking about modern day dreary looking Batman?
Both. It's exactly the same.
Well, we can all agree that it's very, very good, can't we?
No.
Debatable.
Well, you tell me. Let's talk specifically about Batman vs Superman, because that out of all of them is the one that really... We can talk about Man of Steel another time, which I think is a brilliant film, but Batman vs Superman, in my opinion, is a bloody good film.
Yes,
But you guys, I understand, aren't as into it.
That's a nice way of putting it, right?
Yeah, well, you tell me. What's wrong with it then?
We'll let Rhi go first.
Yeah, okay. So my first issue is Ben Affleck.
What is wrong with Ben Affleck?
Everything. He's not a very good actor. He's got a massive ego, which I know most actors do, especially when you're as big as Ben Affleck. I just don't like him. I don't like films with him in it. I don't like characters he plays. I don't
What, so you didn't like Daredevil?
No. Hell no.
No, you have to admit,
Oh,
this
that
go
it was
as Batman...
awful.
Yeah, it was awful, but this go as Batman was a lot better than his first
No.
go at a superhero.
Right.
As Daredevil.
Yeah.
So, Batman as a character started off as my favourite comic book character. So,
Best thing about Batman is that he's the only superhero not to have any superpowers. Just a
I
little,
know,
no, the
little
Punisher
factor.
doesn't.
Oh, shit on it.
Or Iron Man, he's just got a suit.
Yeah.
Alright, well, forget that.
Yeah. So, anyway, Batman. The best Batman was Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Adam West, obviously the original. Christian Bale was okay. But those films, like the Batman Begins and Dark Knight, excellent. Don't like Dark Knight Rises as much.
Yeah, this is one of my points. If we do
Yeah.
discuss plot holes with Batman vs Superman,
Yeah.
I will refer you to Dark Knight Rises. But
Yeah.
do you think Ben Affleck was always... Basically, whoever played Batman in the new ones was doomed because of Christian Bale's performance as Batman?
Possibly.
And then I suppose the question is, who else could have played him?
See, that's a good
Bring
question.
Michael Keaton back.
A bit past it,
I
isn't
don't
it?
know. Is it a Bat Zimmer frame? I don't know. They could do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I do like the idea... I remember before it was announced, they were talking about Batman being older, and a few names popped up. One was Jeff. I can't think what his name is. Jeffrey Morgan Negan from The Walking Dead, who actually is in Batman vs Superman, isn't he? He plays his dad at the start. He could have been good. And then also another guy that was mentioned, whose name escapes me. He's in Goonies. He's the older brother.
Oh, Josh.
Oh no, Dead. He's No Country for Old Men. I think he's in.
Yeah, I know who's.
He was in Men in Black 3.
I know exactly who you mean.
I know exactly.
This is why we needed someone. We needed someone on the side googling things, don't we?
Yeah.
But he was in for the running, rumored anyway. I think he could have.
See, for me, I still think that Tom Hardy could have been a pretty good Batman.
But he was Bane.
Yeah.
So it's too late for that.
You seem to forget, Batman. I was born in darkness.
Or if you cut off all his hair, the guy that he has done. The guy that played Tim Riggins and was in Battleship as well. Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights. And he's
is he the guy that's married to Fergie?
Yeah,
Or am I thinking of
that's someone else?
There are two actors that look Timothy Olyphant or something like that.
No, I don't know.
No?
I can't remember his name, but
I never saw Battlefield. That was on one with Rhiannon.
Yes.
Not
you're
Rhiannon.
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, look, I personally think that I think it was brave of Ben Affleck to take on that film, and apparently he didn't. Well, it weren't so much that he didn't want to do it, but he had his,
reservations.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
but
they probably just
paid
him enough
I
to
think
get over it.
I don't think Ben Affleck needs any money. I think he's probably pretty well off, and I genuinely think I like Ben Affleck. I think he's a good actor. I mean, I could list a whole bunch of Kevin Smith movies that he's in that I love. Mm-hmm. But I think he did an all right job considering.
As much as I hate the film, for me, it would say that was one of the good things. I thought he was good in it. And I thought, like you alluded to earlier, anyone that was going to be in that film as Batman was going to be completely slated because it wasn't as good as the other last.
And I feel like as well they didn't need to go too deep into his character. The thing about Batman vs Superman that when I watched it again the other day is that I realised how quickly they do his backstory. They do it in the first 5-minute opening credits, like a montage of, because we all know the Batman story. He's a millionaire, billionaire. His parents die, get shot.
It's been
blah, blah.
retold.
Yeah, so you didn't need to go there again.
But
so
that brings on one of the points in that the scene that I completely hate at the start of the movie, where they shoot them and they have the gun over the pearls and they break the necklace. That is just not realistic. It's not going to happen, and it brings up to a larger point about this movie. Every single scene and every single shot seems to be, we've got to really, really dramatise this, and it makes a 3-hour film that could be easily 2 hours.
Yeah,
but they elongate every single scene.
That's going to be something that we'll talk about, because I like Zack Snyder's approach. Mm-hmm. I like his style. We can talk about his previous films. I also want to talk about what he should do now as a filmmaker. But yeah, that is one of the biggest things that people hate about it, isn't it? That he does these long, drawn out cinematic pieces. The story's moving along, and then all of a sudden he goes to a montage of different things. When Batman is, I think he must be in Mexico because it's got all the festival. What do they call it in Mexico? The Festival of Dead or something.
The Dead,
yeah.
And they're all holding him and stuff. There's a lot of that kind of stuff.
See, I don't mind a little bit of that. I think it's a very effective tool, but the whole film, it's just I'm bored now.
Okay. Come on, Rhi. What's your next problem with it? Because that was point 1. You can see that this might take a while.
Yeah, there was a lot of just what the fuck moments. Why the hell did the bats make him float out of a hole? Why did Lois Lane have to be naked in a bath?
I'm fine with that.
Did you want her in a swimming costume in a bath?
Did she need to be in a bath at all?
Where else would she be?
Not naked? Not.
I mean, Amy Adams isn't really a hottie, is she?
Amy Adams, however, is an amazing actress, and I think...
Did you see Arrival? Is she in that?
Yes, I've seen Arrival, but I've also watched a series recently called Sharp Objects.
Okay.
And she's just mind-blowing.
Okay.
I think this is probably her worst role as Lois Lane.
I wonder how she feels about it, because that's probably the most money she's ever earned from a film.
They do Enchanted, which is a Disney film.
Enchanted, yeah. Well, you want to talk about Disney,
Later
don't
on,
you? Yeah.
And Amy
I know.
Adams is involved in another film we want to discuss as well.
Oh.
I love her.
Yeah?
But I feel that this wasn't a good role for her. It wasn't powerful enough for her.
I tell you what, actually, that's a good point, because I watched Man of Steel again the other day, and her role in that is a lot more prominent than it is in... It's like almost in Batman vs Superman, she's just helping to move the story along.
Yeah, she's a MacGuffin.
She's a what? Is that a Scottish term?
No, it's an Alfred Hitchcock
It's because it had muck in front of it. So
no, it's an Alfred Hitchcock term.
Okay.
See, we're getting taught for free as well.
Yeah, it's very educational. I think we should probably, as well, at this stage, mention why we're talking about a film that is actually a couple of years old. I think it's mainly just because, like, comic book films are huge, and you've got a lot going on with Marvel at the minute. You've got all their latest releases coming out, and you have got some upcoming DC stuff, but I just think it's a big thing to talk about. Like, why DC can't quite match what Marvel are doing.
Even in the comic books from back in the day, they've always been trying to catch up to Marvel and copy them. I mean, what they did they squeezed 2 movies into one for Batman vs Superman to set up Justice League.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel has done that in 4 years over 1 billion films. Well, not 1 billion, but you know what I mean. To get to this point, and it just seemed rushed. For me, the best part of Batman vs Superman was actually someone who's not even on the title.
Who's that then?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, shit.
Okay, yes, Gal Gadot is very attractive.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, that's her name, isn't it?
I thought it was like Gal Gadot.
Well, I want to pronounce it Gadot. She's Israeli, so I feel like it should be said not
true
how
to her
it's
native
written.
tongue.
We'll call her Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. When she came in and just saved the day.
Exactly.
Because she did. She saved the day.
That just makes me think, actually. I know I just said that DC are always trying to catch up to Marvel. I actually think, no, Marvel are trying to catch up to DC in the lead female role and doing it better, quicker.
Is it Captain Marvel? Is that a woman?
Yes.
Yeah, you got that coming, haven't you? But all I was going to say about DC was that I've never read a comic book. I mean, I think I read a couple of Beavis and Buttheads. Did you just give me a look then, as if to say, have you not read a comic book?
Yes.
Yeah. Who are you?
I wish I could say something like, because I got a life, but
you don't.
No. Yeah. But what I would say is that I've always considered Marvel as a kind of pop-tastic, fun, especially since the movies have come out, films. And then DC is like a much darker, a bit more serious. I know you guys. Who has seen Justice League?
I have.
You have.
I
You
have
both
not.
have seen. Oh, you haven't. Well, I feel like in Justice League they really try to throw some humour in, and I think it does work. Especially like with the Flash, and the guy out of Game of Thrones. What's his name? Aquaman. They've got some good bands and stuff, but ultimately I think of DC as much darker, and I feel like that is one of the complaints of Batman vs Superman, is that it's really like dark and dreary. I think that's what they should do.
They can't. There's no point to being exactly the same.
So we're agreeing that Batman vs Superman is a good film.
No.
All right. Well,
But in terms of good in the sense of how much money it brings in, because that's all they care about at the end of the day. Box
the
office
studios
takings,
definitely.
The studios. Because something like Batman vs Superman, how dark it isn't aimed as much at children, whereas Marvel is. So obviously they're going to get more money.
Yeah. So that's the thing as well. I was going to say, DC being darker. If you do watch the fight scenes, some of the fight scenes are brutal. Like that fight scene with
cut that's extended, it goes even further.
Yeah. See, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah,
I want to watch it.
But this is another one of my problems with the Batman character in this particular film. Batman doesn't like to kill people.
Let alone
As a
brand
rule,
them.
he would never have done that. Never. That's not even in the comic book, ever. He's not as angry as Ben Affleck makes him out to be. Yes, he wants revenge, and yes, he is angry, but he's not outwardly angry in that way. And I did some research, because Obviously, you don't know how many people he's actually killed because he is just kind of kicking them about. But I think it was about 21 people that he killed in that one film. Now, in the history of Batman, we're going back to the 60s, he's only killed 15 people. So then he killed more in one film than he has in the entire Batman history.
But they needed to take it in a different direction.
And he doesn't like to use guns. And he used a lot of guns.
Yeah, he's quite gun heavy, isn't he?
Yeah, so to me, it just wasn't
Maybe he watched
Batman.
Die Hard just before.
Maybe.
Yeah. But, I've lost my train of thought now, what I was going to say.
Because I'm right.
Yeah, maybe. But what? Oh, that's what I was going to say, actually. No, talking about Batman being angry.
Yeah.
I see. That's one of the things I really loved about that story in Batman vs Superman is how the opening scene is the end of Man of Steel, and he's got a bloody right to be angry. He sees his company building fall to the ground.
No, I agree. He has reason to be angry. He also had reason to be angry that his parents got shot when he was a kid, which ultimately turns him into Batman. But as a person, Bruce Wayne Batman just isn't.
No,
that
it never has
aggression,
been.
No.
The fact that he might have killed 21 people. How many more people did he brand that knows because they got that in prison they were going to die as well?
That was quite dark, wasn't it?
That's sadistic, really.
Yeah.
Again, surely take it in a different direction though. No, you can't keep doing the same thing.
But you can't take a character that's been around for 70 years. And change it that drastically and not expect some backlash.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's a point that I've made. What should they have done? And that's quite a broad question, I know. But what? I mean, I tell you what. Do you remember the film I Am Legend with Will Smith?
Yeah.
Back whenever that came out, I think it was like 2007 off the top of my head. In that, they had on one of the buildings, I think, it said Batman vs Superman. They had like the logo. Okay. So they've been planning this for a long time. What should they have done differently?
Personally, I don't think Batman vs Superman as a film needed to be a thing.
If you really look at it, if they wanted to do it because they wanted to get them together and it should be huge money at the box office. Yeah. If you really look at it, there is no way in the world Batman and all his little gadgets and toys, no matter how many long montage scenes of him pushing things around on the floor and heavy things, is ever going to even hurt Superman.
Yeah,
so,
but we also know that... it was always obvious that the only way he was going to do it was by having kryptonite.
Yeah.
So... that answers that.
Which brings us on to Lex Luthor Jr.
Who is bloody good in this film. I don't like Jesse Eisenberg or whatever his name is. Don't get me wrong, some of his films are brilliant. Like, I love him in the zombie film, what's that called?
Oh, Zombieland.
Zombieland.
I thought he was perfect
that?
at the Social Network as well for that.
Never seen that, but I heard he's good in that. Yeah. And he's good in Adventureland. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
That's a good coming of age kind of thing. But him as a person, like I saw a really young, nice girl interview him once, and off camera he was such an arrogant arsehole.
I have heard that.
Have you? You haven't seen that?
But he is.
Yeah, and that puts you off. Like watching a Tom Cruise film, I kind of refuse to watch a Tom Cruise film because he's such a bellend. But I think he was good in this film.
See, I'm with Rhi on this one as well. I don't think he was good in this film, but I like him as an actor, even though he's a dick. He's just wrong. He went too far. His constant facial tics and movement just
I really liked that.
No,
it was too much.
It was too close to Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
It was nowhere. It was nothing like it.
The mannerism, body language, like you said, the nervous tics. He reminded me too much.
Heath Ledger didn't have nervous tics in.
No, but the Joker was just always
jittery.
Moving and jittery.
See, there's a bit where they're at a charity ball or something,
his
and
event, isn't it?
and he does that. He does a little talk, and I just thought that scene was so good because you just see this conflicted, pained character that can't get his words out, and then on the flip side, he suddenly turns into Mr. Charming. But then what were you going to do? Was you going to get Kevin Spacey to do it?
I didn't always understand Lex's role until the kind of final bit.
Yeah.
I got lost. There was a lot going on at the same time. The scenes were so short, and it was...
The scenes are very short in that film.
Very short. So
short but long.
The scenes are short.
The dialogue scenes are short.
Yeah. And some of them were very quiet as well. I kept having to turn the volume up and down.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he said to that senator woman in his house. Like, I haven't got a clue.
Oh, okay. Well, he says about... I mean, well... I don't know if we can do like spoiler alert. It's probably a bit late to do spoiler alert, but he says something about Nana's peach tea, doesn't he? And then he puts it on the glass, and then she looks at it. That's a really good scene.
Yeah.
And
again, look, he blows the place up with lots of people in it, just like someone else in a Batman movie.
Let's make a Batman vs Superman film, but not have any explosions because there was explosions in.
No, but it was just the way, like, it was just all very samey. One bit I really wish happened that didn't, when the guy in the wheelchair from Wayne Industries graffitied Superman.
Yeah.
I really thought he was a suicide bomber.
Same as.
And I really wanted him to blow up that statue. I think that would have had a much bigger impact.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting. So when he got the spray can out, I was like, I'm a bit disappointed now.
He kind of is a suicide bomber. You just don't realise that he's a suicide bomber.
Or was that just a tease to give you a clue to what was going to happen?
Yeah.
But I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. I was surprised when they blew up everyone and killed thousands of people.
I just think I thought it was quite clever, like just how they kept giving Batman reasons to hate Superman. Because again, like Superman, he goes there, he's like, fine, I will face the court, blah blah blah. And then he's the only one standing after it explodes.
But he didn't blow it up.
No, of course not. It was Lex Luthor.
Superman's expression when that happens is just like...
shit.
Deadpan. Like nothing...
Like the rest of him in that movie, to be perfectly honest. So he didn't really have to work that hard to do that scene.
I do want to talk about this because I don't think that... I mean, there's a thing that what's his name?
Henry Cavill,
who's British... is a very wooden actor, but the thing is about Superman is that he's meant to be this kind of like middle America kind of farming community kind of simple guy that has all these abilities. I don't think he's meant to be in the way he like has dialogue with people. I don't think he's meant to be very complex. I think he's supposed to be quite wooden, if you like.
Clark Kent's quite boring.
He is, but you think Clark Kent, you automatically think a little bit more geeky and goofy compared to a different alter ego as him as Superman. There's no real contrast there, which I've always had in other Superman
Christopher
versions.
Reeves was always like ridiculously geeky, wasn't he? It was almost like...
it was an act that he was putting on, or that was how he was as his alter ego. But there was
almost
no
like slapstick, wasn't it?
Yeah. Whereas in all the other characters in this film,
he's a lot more
in
thoughtful.
the DC universe, have got such contrast in them that shapes them how and why they're in the film.
That's a good point, but I think my argument will keep going back to they need to do something different.
Yeah, but...
or are some things meant to be kept the same?
It just brings us on to loads of discussions.
Yeah.
There's things like with James Bond all changing and things like this.
They're on about him being James Bond, aren't they?
Oh, I hope not.
I thought it was Idris Elba.
Well, there was mention of that. They also talked about Brody from Homeland.
Tom Hardy again.
Tom Hardy. I was going to say there's another guy that they're talking about playing Superman, and it is the guy that played in the new Rocky films. You know that black guy that's in that?
Oh,
Michael B. Jordan?
That'd be very controversial.
They made Spider-Man black.
Not the fact that he's black.
Oh, in this new...
The fact that other actors have done Marvel roles as well as DC roles. That's not many have happened. And I was going to mention Michael B. Jordan later on, actually.
Wait, is he in Marvel?
Yeah, he's one of the two people that have done three people that have done two roles.
Oh, he did
the first Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the Human Torch.
Yeah.
And then he's gone on and he is what's his name in Black Panther, the main villain in that, which I think he nails that role, by the way.
I've not seen that.
He's fantastic.
Okay.
And then to go from Marvel to DC, that's
I
like
think
leaving
it's
Barcelona
him.
to go to Real Madrid.
I hope it is him, because after all that chat, it might not actually be him. But I'm pretty sure I saw a post about that somewhere. I think what is interesting as well about Batman vs Superman, I think this is going to be a subject that we go back to, but why is it that... What's the name of the guy that directed the last Batman films?
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. He is a producer on those films.
Oh.
So I don't know
Did not
how.
know that.
Yeah, I noticed in the credits, but I don't know if it's a producer on Man of Steel, but definitely a Batman vs Superman. And it's like, how much say did he have in that? And also, I mean, this is talking about Justice League, but you had, because Zack Snyder had to leave, you had Joss Whedon. Did I say his name right?
Joss Whedon, yeah.
Yeah, the Marvel guy. He come in on Justice League. And another thing about Batman vs Superman is Zack Snyder didn't even write it. How much of the grief has to go on Zack Snyder's shoulders when he didn't write it and he didn't produce it?
He's the director.
If you've got strong enough, you change it. But then again, with Nolan being in the cast, who knows, the different studios have the rights to different things, and maybe in the contract, due to the fact that he was linked to the last films, his contract says that he has to have involvement for the next 4 after it, or there's a certain amount. So he might not have done anything. He just has to be there and paid because he's got a contract to say he has to.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? I don't know the ins and outs on that.
He could also be credited with producer if he put money into it.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, maybe it could just be that, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think what they need to do is change up the writing team and get some writers in. There must be like success stories of writers that have come from, I don't know, like just for instance, say the TV show Mad Men, that then have gone on to write an action film, or you know how Thor Ragnarok was directed by. That one.
Yeah.
That was directed by the guy, the Kiwi guy, Kiwi guy, from like Flight of the Conchords kind of fame. Those guys.
Oh, right.
Yeah, who In the Shadows or something. That guy. Would you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
No?
I know what you mean. I don't know.
He kind of didn't. But what I'm saying is, his CV didn't have any kind of action films on there, and then all of a sudden he directed one of the biggest summer blockbusters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you could do the same with the writing.
Yeah.
I think they just need to. Do they drop the whole DC universe and start again?
No.
Because the thing is, they've got success with Wonder Woman, but not really success with Batman and Justice League. And we could even talk about Suicide Squad, but I think that just opens up a whole other.
I don't
That's
know.
a big can of worms.
I wouldn't say that Justice League was that unsuccessful, but then when you're making comparisons to the Avengers, it's just not as good because they've nailed it in Marvel.
Yeah.
And you're always going to have that problem. Maybe if it was on its own and Marvel didn't exist,
I was going to say,
it'd be it would be viewed in a completely different way.
Marvel have set the bar high, haven't they, with comic book universes, and now they're like opening it up to basically make it like a Star Wars and kind of go out of Earth, and they've just got this whole massive spectrum of movies they can do.
And the spin-off TV series is like Agent Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The DC does that. I mean, I've not watched any of them.
Did they? I've never seen one.
Well, you got like
other than Gotham, which
haven't
is
you got like
actually quite
Arrow and the Flash, and I can't get on with those kind of TV shows. I like some of the Marvel ones, like Luke Cage.
I like Daredevil.
Daredevil was good, and obviously the Punisher was good. I've not seen some of
Jessica
those ones,
Jones.
but yeah.
Very
But then
good.
when they did that, the Defenders, I heard that was poo.
I've heard that as well, but I haven't watched it.
There's so much we can talk about with DC.
Yeah.
and everything else.
I think we'll go back to it, but one more question I just want to ask is, if you were Zack Snyder with all the there's 2 things I want to say. One quickly
It'll be 3 in a
is
minute, guys.
yeah, I know. Quickly though, one thing is, do you think some of the response to Batman vs Superman was purely down to critics getting in there first, having a jab at it, and then everyone that's kind of into their films are like, they've, you know what I mean, like they've read an article.
No, I think the negativity comes from a lot more from people like myself who have read actual Batman comics.
So it's your fault that people don't like Batman vs Superman?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks for that. One more question. Zack Snyder, if you were him, what would you do? Would you carry on and move on to the next big DC thing? I'm going to get to what I think he should do. I basically think he should move on to a smaller project, something that he can really throw himself into.
Or does he do another one to try and prove himself?
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yes. Get
What
back
is-
the respect.
We should have looked up what he is actually doing. I mean, what is... I know you got like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Wonder Woman is fortunate because it doesn't follow the same. Like it's going to be set in the 80s, isn't it? So it's a follow-on from the last Wonder Woman, but still doesn't get to present day with all the Batman vs Superman things. So they can do whatever they want, and it will be successful. And I suppose that's what Aquaman's going to be as well. It will be like a Origins type thing. But
I'm scared with Aquaman though, because
fight scenes underwater.
I mean, it'll be like Knight Rider. There's always a road to get somewhere, or there has to be a river for him to go and do something. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's pretty good on land though. He does like he surfed on those alien things at the end of Batman vs Superman, and then he goes, yeah.
That is quite cool though. But
I didn't watch that.
No.
No.
He's got some really funny dialogue.
Credit scenes.
No, he's not at the end of the credits. It's that end scene when they're fighting the.
Reeves not seen Justice League.
Oh, we're doing
is it
Justice
Justice
League.
League?
Sorry,
I thought you were talking about
it's because I
Batman
watched
vs
Justice
Superman.
League last night and I was
Right.
drinking wine, so it's all kind of molded into one. All right, let's draw a line under DC. Oh, you got more
So much
notes.
stuff.
I think we're gonna have to draw a line because I just feel like we could just keep talking.
I
about it.
think-
We could.
Another minute or two, because look at all those lovely notes.
Let me just say, like.
I don't know. I can't read your
Let me
handwriting.
just make points, and you don't say anything.
Oh,
This is going to be tough.
I don't know how long we've been talking about. Okay,
Okay. So,
bullet point us.
Bullet pointers. Okay. Wonder Woman talks about how she decided to stop helping mankind for the last 100 years. Wonder Woman wouldn't do that. She came to, mankind to
Yeah,
protect
but she's
it
got a
forever.
broken heart.
No, it doesn't matter.
Chris Pine broke
No,
her
it
heart.
wouldn't happen. Would not happen. Doomsday is 250,000 years old.
He's
Yet
old.
he is alive and then dead in the same film. That annoys me.
He's been killed quite a few times.
I heard a lot of
comic
people
books.
moan
Yeah.
about Doomsday's death.
Batman and Superman. For a film called Batman vs Superman, they don't meet until 1 hour 4 minutes in.
But it's a long movie.
Yeah,
Too long.
Could have been shorter.
A lot shorter.
Yeah.
And that was just like rubbish playground threats. Which brings me to the fight. The beginning, it was like watching a game of worms.
Which fight? Which fight?
The Superman,
when he's got
Batman.
the gas, the kryptonite gas.
Yeah, but like the first few things they do, it's like, oh, I'll have a turn. And no, I'll have a turn.
Like when he's got the
And
gun
I'll
set
have a
up
turn. It's
and
like,
He's
yeah.
walking backwards and very slowly, and then he
Yeah.
walks forward and I press a button and these magic speakers stop
Yeah,
me.
and the batsuit, right? They've tried to make it like Iron Man, but the batsuit did not have electricals in it. He didn't have glowing eyes. He's like a tank. That's
yeah,
not what
but it's
Batman's
present
suit
day.
is.
He's a
No,
billionaire, and you can't rely on the same technology used in the 80s. You can't just use the claw all the time, the shooty claw thing.
Well,
It's gotta
they
have
worked,
some-
they've always worked well.
Yeah, but you got to move on
And
with
he
the
doesn't use
times, haven't you?
guns.
And I would say, honestly, I know this is a complete tangent. I knew we would have a few of those, right? The Lego Batman character is better than that's Batman.
I love
full
Lego
stop.
Batman.
I wish I could comment, but I babysat my niece and nephew, and we were like, "What are we going to watch?" They put on Lego versus, Lego Batman. I was like, "Okay, cool, I can get down with this." 10 minutes in, bored. Want to do something else now, Uncle Ryan? So I didn't get to watch it.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
a shame. But the final thing, and I feel like it has to be discussed, is the reason that they stopped fighting.
Martha,
Yes.
Martha,
Come on.
Mummykins.
If he was really that angry, just the fact that they had the same name of mums would not
Your
have
mum's
just
name is the same as my mum's name.
switched it like
Why?
that.
Why? You wouldn't say save Martha.
Did anyone
save
know that?
my mother.
Did you know
I
that?
didn't. I'll be honest. I googled it afterwards to say, is this real? Have they changed the script? Because I didn't actually know.
Superman's mother, Kent-wise,
Yeah.
was not originally called Martha.
No. Okay.
She's had a few different names. Martha has been one of them. Obviously, for the sake of this, Batman's mum has always been called Martha.
Yeah.
Martha Wayne.
Can we agree that Diane Lane is a hottie?
I didn't look at what? Who's that?
Martha. Keaton?
Oh, is that the actress?
Is it Diane Keaton or Diane Lane? I'm getting muddled up now.
I didn't.
Diane Lane,
I
isn't it?
didn't really look at her.
I have no idea. I don't remember.
Okay, just talk amongst yourselves.
I didn't look at her.
Yeah, Diane Lane. Yeah, it is Diane Lane. I think for an older lady, she's bang tidy. And then if you go through her filmography and look at some of her old roles, whew, bloody hell.
I did like Jeremy Irons as
Yeah,
Alfred.
I was going to say
He was very good.
because he couldn't do the same as
Michael Caine.
Master Bruce.
Yeah, he was just like quite chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like he had like little sarky comments and stuff. Very British.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah, I mean, actually, there's a lot of people in that film. I mean, I know we talked about Lex Luthor. You didn't like him. I really thought he put in a good performance. Oh, see, we're not talking about Man of Steel, are we? But Michael Shannon, who is an actor that I could just bang on about for ages, who played Zod. We're not talking about Man of Steel. We'll have to go there another time. But he was bloody brilliant.
I like Lawrence Fishburne as well. But then again,
Always
I like
Lawrence.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Once you play Morpheus, basically gives you a card to say, even if I'm shit in a film. Like, did you see him in Predator? The Predator.
I haven't seen it.
Not the new one, which I'm going to see next week. But he's, the one that had Adrian Brody in it. Did you ever see that?
No.
The Predator?
No, I did not.
He plays a guy that's been on the island for years, and he's gone a bit doolally. He's pretty good in that.
As we were on, my last comment, sorry, it's just coming to my head now, so I'm going to say what I think. Batman vs Superman. Can you actually name a good something versus something film?
No.
Alien versus Predator? Come on.
Are
Alien versus Predator 2?
Are there any other films? The only other things I can think of is like Shark Medagalon versus a volcano or something like that. Like, there is genuinely a film. Oh, I'd sent you guys in our WhatsApp group footage from Titanic 2.
Yeah, I considered watching that the other day before you'd sent
Oh, really?
that.
It's so bad. It's good. It is one of those
Alex
films.
has been obsessed with Titanic recently.
I am upset that it even exists.
Yeah, it is.
I've not seen it. I don't know anything about it.
So bad.
I'm upset.
It's so bad. And that was a genuine fart, by the way, at the end. It sounded like I went, but it was that I farted on the
Nice.
thing. I don't know how much of it you listened to, because it was quite a long...
Obviously, guys, we don't really have many boundaries around it.
No,
So.
yeah.
Right.
Do we want to keep... I mean, have you got any more points about why it's such a good film?
I have no points about that.
Shall I try and sum up the conversation?
Oh, it was 21 kills. Just confirming that. I wasn't sure when I said it.
21 confirmed kills.
In just that movie?
In just that movie.
Okay. That's fine.
Not for Batman.
No, you got Marvel doing the fun, funny side, and as far as I'm concerned, you got DC doing the much darker side of things. The fight between Batman and Superman, once that kryptonite gas is out there, is pretty brutal. Like, there's some good wallops going on, and I think they needed that. I feel like they needed to do something different. You can argue that Zack Snyder did these long montage things. I think it looks very cool and stylish, and I just think he did make it his own. And I'm going to keep talking because I know that Rhi wants to make a point about something.
I've not seen the
So I like the sound of my own voice.
Please.
Go on then.
Right, okay, so the massive spoiler alert is Superman dies.
He does?
Kind of. So
Yeah, he definitely doesn't come back in Justice League.
well,
At all.
Yeah, no, not at all. So we're led to believe that Superman is dead / Clark Kent. So how
Wait, Clark Kent is Superman?
Yes.
We did say spoiler alert, don't
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
how does the world not now know that Clark Kent is Superman?
worry. Coincidence.
I'm going to just say again that you can't...
Google doesn't
you
exist
can't,
in the
you
DC
can't,
universe.
Well, yeah, there is, there is that. Yeah.
So no, who's in the Superman coffin? Obviously, Clark is in the coffin at the family funeral.
Yeah, but he's in
Who
his
the
outfit.
hell-
He's in his outfit, so you don't know that it's Clark Kent because he's in his Superman
But
outfit.
someone would have worked it out.
Nah, you can't
But
poke holes in plot holes
A
like that.
body has to be in that Superman coffin.
Yeah,
So whose body is it? Because it
Superman.
ain't Clark Kent.
no, it's Superman. No,
They're not
no.
two people.
What do you mean?
So they have a funeral.
Yeah.
For Superman.
Where is it? Smallville.
Yeah.
For Clark Kent.
Oh, I
and
see,
his body is
okay.
in that coffin.
Whose
So
body
who
is
is in the shiny Superman one?
I
That's
think
just
you have
a
to.
comment to go out there.
Yeah, I think you have to ignore that.
I don't want to ignore it. It really,
Yeah.
See,
Really, really
I'm
annoying.
So
hoping
it's 22 kills.
no,
what-
you didn't kill him.
What I'm hoping is that because I think you two are basically kicking my ass at the
Sorry.
minute with the whether it's a good film or not. So I'm hoping that once we put it out there on social media, I'll get all the people on my side. They'll be like, "No, Ryan, we understand that it's a brilliant film. All the different plot hole things that you've mentioned, they'll contradict you,
Yeah.
and you'll be proven wrong. I will
Okay.
win, and."
So that's really important to you, isn't it?
Ryan does not like to lose.
Yeah,
More
well,
than you wink.
I mean, the football team I manage has lost played 3, lost 3, and I haven't slept since. Okay, shall we move on from DC for now?
Okay.
Because we still need to watch Man of Steel, and then we can go back from the start to the start.
I need to watch Justice League.
And you need to watch Justice League. And you've seen Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Out of 10?
There isn't one.
What, Rob, out of 10?
For me, Suicide Squad, solid 8. I love it. I think it's really good. I think it's the best DC
I think I'll give it an 8. Yeah, okay. Cool beans. So, next subject, I want to start talking about local stuff. So, DC Universe is quite a big thing. Now we're going to bring it back down to real life and talk about Bedford, our hometown, our motherfucking rocking hometown that is Bedford.
Woo!
Yeah.
And if you leave, you do come back.
Yeah, I lived for a couple of years. I lived in the Cotswolds. It was beautiful, but do you know what? I just missed that sweet, sweet Bedford.
Ditto.
Was you born in Bedford or no?
No.
You've got a Scottish accent, so you've obviously lived in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lived in Bedford since I was 13.
13.
13. So quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But you kept your native accent.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's a nice accent. Would you agree, Rob?
I would agree.
Yeah, because it's not like I like the Scottish accent, but it's not a thick.
No, it's not a
Yeah.
thick one. You should hear my brother.
Oh really?
I can't even understand him. Seriously.
And Rob, you lived out of Bedford for a little while.
I was born in Ilford in Essex, and then I moved.
Oh yeah, you
moved
definitely
here.
strike me as an Essex boy.
Oh dear.
You got to see Rob on a night out in town. His like wardrobe, he will dress to impress, won't you?
I try. Style over substance, maybe. I don't know.
You went to my engagement party and you wore this T-shirt, and everyone was just walking past him like rubbing it because it just. What was it made out of?
It was a
Suede?
velvet tee. No, that was the suede one. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had the velvet one that I wore last night out. So yeah.
Everyone was rubbing your chest.
They sound hideous. I'm not gonna lie. Suede t-shirt.
Yeah, but Rob can pull it off.
That can't be comfortable.
Yeah, it's
What?
really soft. It's really it's good.
You saw Rob at the wedding, right? You looked proper dapper.
I don't
Thank you, sir.
remember.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to other people. to be
Okay.
honest.
I was a bit
Sorry.
annoyed actually that Rob looked as good as he did because I felt like he outstaged me. But,
Sorry, boss.
yeah, it's all right. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Bedford. And first things first is Rob and I, not Rhi because she's on the cider, a Swedish cider. We are enjoying a local beer by a new little microbrewery called Brewery Z. The guys,
Brewery Z.
yeah, they very kindly donated us free beers. I'm going to save one for a new episode of Rach Hates Alcohol. Rach don't know that yet, but I'm sure she'll be up for it. But cheers.
Cheers, sir.
Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
Dead air.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, tickety boo.
Very hoppy.
Yeah, I mean, it is called a Hop Wave.
It's a very nice logo, actually. Very nice bottle. I like it.
Yeah, I did some photos the other day and put it up on the Facebook page that they're welcome to have that really kind of made the bottle look very cool. But it looks very cool anyway.
We've got the website address for anyone who's interested in having a little purchase and a try. I'd recommend it and support these local businesses.
Yeah, definitely. And
We'll put that up on the link, won't we?
I think they're planning on like getting these beers in more and more like local
Cafes,
pubs
and
and
stuff like this.
I don't know. Do you go to a cafe for a beer?
Yes.
What
Some
cafes do you
some
go
are
to?
both now, like Albero Lounge. That's
Yeah.
a cafe.
Oh,
has
that's a pub. I
bar.
went there yesterday.
It's not a pub.
It's a cafe.
It is a pub.
It-
First things first, it's a pub.
It's not.
No.
First things first, it's a cafe.
Do you know what I like about Albero?
No.
Vegan menu.
Yes, they do have an array of menus.
Yes.
They have a big gluten-free one, which
Yes.
is great for my 6-year-old as well.
Okay.
And it's right across from my work.
That is very handy. We should talk very much about local pubs and stuff as well at some point because I feel like
I've
that's
worked
a
in
good
half of
subject.
them, so-
Yeah, I've worked in a couple. But should we all just say, rest in peace, Hobgoblin?
No, but it was such a long time ago.
Yeah, but I miss it.
No,
I
not
miss
over it.
walking into the pub and having piss dripping on my face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just
Ah.
knowing everyone.
Yeah,
as well.
but they played good music, and that is so hard to get now in a place.
And I had a sticky floor.
Very sticky floor.
Right.
Yeah, that was just years and years of not mopping the floor, I think. Yeah, I think we all probably worked at a Hob at one point. I know I did a couple of shifts. Anyone
I didn't
else?
work there, but I had friends who worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was there a lot.
It's a shame because I feel like that's a real historic part of Bedford. I almost wonder, like, you know, I said about John Oliver at the start calling Bedford a scrappy town. I wonder if when he lived in Bedford, if the Hobgoblin was there.
The Rose was. It's been there since the 16th century.
The bear probably was.
Yeah. It's a shame he didn't give those guys a bit of a mention. Maybe the Hob would still be open if he'd given it a mention, and then there would have been tourists from all around the world going to the Hobgoblin. Anyway, so back to the movies, but with a Bedfordia twist. Cinema. We've got 2 cinemas in Bedford now. We got the old Bedford Cineworld that I remember when it was Virgin Cinema, and before then it was. Oh, there was another old cinema brand, and I can't remember. Actually,
There was one in town.
I was going to say I saw my first movie at the one in town, where Lidl is now.
What was your first movie?
Oh, that's such a great subject, and I've got a little story with it as well. He-Man, Master of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren.
What a film!
I know, what a film. And my mum and dad were a little bit worried because I think I was, 4, maybe 5. They were worried that Skeletor might be a bit scary for me, but apparently. Shit you not, I stood up in the cinema and I said, I have the power!
I don't doubt it. I mean, guys, I don't doubt it.
It was such a great movie. I've always been so gutted because at the end of the credits, like that's the original like Easter egg end of credits scene. You see Skeletor come back up through that red oozy stuff and go, "I'll be back, He-Man," or something like that. He says something.
That is a film that should be redone and remade and kicked off, and I'm surprised it hasn't.
And who would replace Dolph Lundgren, or do we just get Dolph
get The Rock? He does everything else.
Yeah. I think it'd be like Thor. It could be because he's got that kind of blonde, Swedish, kind of Russian kind of look about him, even though he's Australian. But yeah, I think it needs to be something in the same vein as what Dolph Lundgren. But Dolph Lundgren looks bloody good for his age. I saw a trailer the other day, Shark Lake.
No.
Terrible.
No
it looks terrible.
The Sharknado wasn't enough.
Yeah. Well, they kind of did their own thing in the end, didn't they? The comedy B-movie thing. Anyway, we're kind of getting off subject. Cinemas in Bedford.
Sharks on a Boat. There's a film title.
Oh, man. I saw, what's it called? Meg. I saw that the other day. I thought it would be tongue-in-cheek and funny and shit, but it was just shit.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We do actually want to talk about shark movies. That's one of the things we do want to talk about. We'll give you a little bit of a teaser, and that is, why is Jaws the only good shark film?
And you can message, comment, and let us know what you think of that before.
It's Zachary. Yeah, that's I think we should actually put that question in any posts we do.
Posts.
We're not going to discuss it now, but basically, why is it that out of all the shark films, there is only... I think Jaws was out in 1975. I think
Sounds
that's
about
right. Yeah. And
Mid-70s.
all the films to date that have been about sharks have... I mean, like we were talking about this earlier, like Deep Blue Sea, when it came out, it was all right, but when you go back and watch it now, it's terrible. But Jaws is the only good film.
My turn for a funny story.
All right, okay, we're going back to the cinema story, yeah?
No, to do with Jaws.
Okay, Jaws.
I remember watching it as a youngster, I think I was 8 or 9, so yeah, pretty young. I was, after watching that, afraid to go upstairs and didn't want to go upstairs to the bathroom because that was where the water was.
What, you didn't have sinks downstairs? Oh, you poor guy. In Essex, they didn't have sinks downstairs. Because you collected water from like the...
And it dripped from the ceiling like a hot. Yeah.
Oh, man. Poor guy.
But that's sad. I'm over it now, guys, don't worry.
All right, well, we're going to move away from the shark thing because that is a really good subject that we want to get into. But going back to cinema thing. So in Bedford, we've now got 2 cinemas. We've got Cineworld that's been there for a really bloody long time. It's part of Aspects. It is totally dying on its arse. It used to be the place to go. I worked at Mega Bowl.
Place to go.
Yeah, Mega Bowl was the place to go. You had, what was the... Enigma
Night.
McCluskey's, Zap Zone. It was a banging place, and then it all just died on its arse. Mm-hmm. And now Cineworld is kind of hanging by a thread, still trying to keep going. Don't know if you noticed, but they've refurbed some of the
screens.
Honestly,
the seats.
I've not been there since the View opened.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's okay, but the View is very appealing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is appealing and shows films more regularly at times that are more suitable to my life.
Yes.
with
And it's
children.
£5 a ticket at the minute,
It does help.
which
with it
makes you
cheaper.
wonder if they're just trying to kill off Cineworld.
I'll be very sad if that happens. Mainly, only reason being is I have a Cineworld Club card thingy.
Yeah.
I've had it for 9 years.
So you're
See-
still paying like quite cheap, probably.
I'm still on a cheaper rate than what it gets charged at. It has gone up a bit because
So how much is that?
I'm now paying. I think it's $16.99 a month.
That's still quite a lot.
That's still a lot, yeah.
It's 2 films a month, from
Yeah.
which I used
Yeah.
to go once a week.
When I worked at Mcbride, I used to get free cinema tickets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I remember as well. They used to do. You could buy it in a 4-week block, so you just buy a month pass rather than a, like a continuous direct debit, and that was always good because over the summer you got all those blockbusters. You just buy it once for £15.
Did you know my friend Ellen when you worked at Megaball?
Redhead.
Yes, Ellen
Yes,
Roberts.
if she is listening, Ellen, I have still not forgotten the time that you dropped the birthday cake. It was one of the most funniest things I've ever seen. I could do a whole podcast episode just about Mega Bowl. Man, I feel like this is gonna
Yeah.
kind of turn into a Bedford podcast, but we
Yeah.
are gonna stay true to, because we just love movies and we want to talk about movies. But
Yeah.
Bedford is a wicked place, and there's so many funny stories. But Ellen was wicked. Lovely girl. Do you still see her?
Yeah, one of my
Alright.
besties.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, we'll have to go for a beer then. Talk about some old Mega Bowl story. She probably thought I was an arsehole, to be honest.
She doesn't think bad about people.
No?
Ellen's too nice.
Okay, she's a bit like my wife. She would never say anything horrible about anyone. Yeah, someone could literally spit in her face, and I'd be like, are you upset about this person? And she'd be like, no.
You haven't done it again since, mate.
Yeah, she married me, so I think,
Yes.
she must like me a little bit. But yeah, cinema in Bedford. View is here. It's all shiny and new. They're charging £5 a ticket. They show more movies. Parking was a bit of a thing, but now they do. I think they reimburse you part of the parking ticket cost, or if not the whole thing. So they're basically doing everything they can to kill Cineworld. Will Cineworld be gone within the next year?
No.
Why?
Big chain. They'll keep it going. I think maybe within 2 years it could do, but I don't think within the next year.
You know, they talked for ages about aspects having a whole new setup. Like they were where Zap Zone used to be. They were going to turn that into another screen and join it, and then they were going to put a big roof over the whole aspect site. It's kind of dead though, isn't it?
I did inquire about actually taking that unit on once, because I think Bedford would be great for somewhere like an indoor mini golf kind of place.
Oh yeah,
Or
like an
something
urban
like
mini
that.
golf.
Yeah,
they're cool. Yeah, that'd be wicked. Go karting, anything.
Yeah.
And it's got the massive car park.
Exactly, and it's free.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys, I will park there and then walk into town down by the river because I'm a cheapskate and won't park in
River
town.
Festival, that's where everyone parks.
If you can get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we think Cineworld will hanging on in there, even though Rhi's not going.
I think it doesn't help that nothing else is there.
Yeah.
Really, like you've got.
What,
the
you don't do bingo
No.
a couple of times a week?
You've got bingo and you've got gym.
Pizza Hut.
Who goes to a gym?
I mean, Pizza Hut I think is overrated.
Do you remember Fatty
100%.
Arbuckles?
It was open when I moved here, but I didn't go there.
Fatty
I didn't go
Arbuckles was
to
good.
Enigma either. I wasn't allowed.
I only went to Snap Dances, Enigma.
I only went into Enigma
Underage.
underage, yeah.
I never had the balls to try and get into anywhere underage, apart from Esquires.
No, but Enigma did the kids' nights on like once
Yeah,
a
yeah,
once
the
on
snap
a
dance.
Thursday.
Yeah. Even
My
they were
friends
scary.
went.
I remember going in them and there were just kids in there that wanted to have a fight. So I chipped very
Scrappy
quickly.
town, that Bedford.
Yeah.
Scrappy little town, John Oliver. Bloody hell.
But yeah, it doesn't help that I don't think Cineworld is in a good location for younger people who don't drive, because the bus station's right next to View. It's not a long walk to Cineworld, but we are talking, kids who are all lazy.
And the thing is as well, like talking about kids, just cinemas in general, it must be getting harder to attract kids because, as we all know, there's loads of streaming services, and also a lot of people are watching films just illegally online, so you can watch. Like, I can't imagine anything worse than watching a cam version of a film. But people do it, and that has hit the cinema industry massively. But
That's been going on for decades.
Well,
Yeah.
decade, definitely.
No,
What?
camcorder films.
Oh, well, like pirate
Oh,
copies
right,
and stuff. Yeah. Not necessarily streaming for decades.
No,
but,
not streaming, but yeah.
But I feel like cinemas in general just seriously need to do something now to attract more people. We were talking about this earlier. I think one thing is, and it's probably been the same forever, definitely not when cinemas were first about, but these days, popcorn, man. Why the fuck is it £5 for a tub of popcorn?
And the rest.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. It's like £8 a tub, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who pays £8 for popcorn?
Or like £5 for a rubbery hot dog.
Yeah, and a drink. Oh, do the mega deal where you say 50p, get a large popcorn and a large drink for £10.
That is another thing The View has over Cineworld.
What, cheaper prices?
Alcohol.
Oh, alcohol, yeah. And it's actually not that bad, like the price-wise. You can go in there. I had, what did I watch recently? Oh, The Meg. And I had a couple of pints of like a pretty decent beer. It was like Brewdog or something like that, a flavoursome lager. And it was no more expensive than what you'd pay in a pub.
Coke.
The kids might as well have a beer because it's the same price as a Coke. Yeah.
It's the bags of sweets that get me. It's like something I could buy in Poundland
Yeah.
is then £3 at the cinema.
And I know they're doing it because, like I say, it's getting harder and harder to attract people to cinema. They're not making as much money now on cinema tickets, so they make their money from confectionery and drinks. But if everyone knew that you can go there and buy a bunch of sweets, popcorn and pop and stuff, and it be affordable, you'd go to the cinema more. Like, a family going to the cinema, I mean, you've got 2 kids and your fella, how much does it cost you to go to cinema?
You'd be looking between £30 and £40.
What you can do with 40 quid these days. You can take them out for a meal, you can take them out for a whole day somewhere.
3 months
just to
worth
go
of
and watch a
Netflix.
film. Yeah, when you could just watch a film at home. It is ridiculous.
The only time I take Alex to the cinema, that's the 6-year-old, is when it's the movies for juniors.
Like the matinee.
And it's something that we've not seen.
Yeah.
The Saturday morning. But that's at Cineworld. So that's one of the good things at Cineworld.
I used to go to the Saturday morning matinee
Yeah.
at Cineworld, but it wasn't Cineworld, it was another company. It was like
MGM or
yeah, something like that.
It's
I
had a
think
blue logo.
It began with U. And they used to actually put the films, you know,
on
do you remember
on the
at
letters.
the front? Yeah, at the front.
Like
So
say no now.
you drive. Yeah, exactly. Like you drive past and you'd see what films were on.
Just put a TV screen there.
But here's a good story
that would
about.
get vandalised.
Here's a good story about the Saturday matinee. So I used to go, and I was 11 or 12. Used to go with my friends on my street. And do you remember in my wedding I said about Alex not telling the 50p story?
Yes.
I'm going to tell it now. I was glad that he didn't say it, but I've somehow managed to talk to myself around to telling the story. But it's very embarrassing. I was with a bunch of kids, and there was a boy and a girl, and they were snogging, like in the row in front of me. And at the time, that kind of blew my mind a little bit for some reason. Which is very embarrassing, but it did. And I was like, wow, do that again. And this does kind of tie in with the price of confectionery in cinemas. You can't get anything 50p, can you?
No.
So you might as well pay 50p for 2 people to snog in front of you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did that. I paid them 50p.
So you turned them into
how old
prostitutes.
were they?
Well, we were all about... We were at middle school. I want to say like 11 or 12. Ideally, I want to say like we were 7, so I was really innocent.
Okay.
But
the people who were snogging, though.
it was during puberty.
So you paid for child pornography?
Yeah, but I was. Yeah, but it's not child pornography if you're underage as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
If a 15-year-old sends a naked picture of themselves, they are distributing child pornography. So it is still.
Well, we better call the
Just
police.
saying.
Let's call the police after this episode then.
This
Okay.
is taking a very DC dark turn.
Yeah, I should send this on to
Sorry,
Zack Snyder.
I'm the ethical one.
Yeah, that's because you got kids. Like we can still make inappropriate jokes.
Yeah.
But
I'll just pick up on it.
so yeah, well that's my Bedford cinema story, which I wish I never told. Maybe we won't put pictures of ourselves when we do posts.
Yeah, we want to be allowed back in places.
I just walking around Bedford and people going 50p. Yeah.
I could blah, blah, blah. My first trip to Bedford Cineworld was when I was 13, and it was the first time I went to see a film underage.
What was it?
Kevin and Perry Go Large.
What a film!
It was a 15.
All I want to do is do
Yeah.
it. Big girl, big girl.
We were so excited. It was just me and one other friend because we thought if we went in a big group, it would be obvious.
That's a great movie, isn't it?
Yeah, no. No, it was good at the time.
Yeah, I watched it recently, and it's one of the movies like, it's not as funny because you're older, but it is still brilliant.
Yeah.
See, that's a good subject for the future, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Films, how they've aged and stuff.
That is something we're going to talk about. Films that, at the time you watched them, they were just the most amazing films, and then you watch them back again years later, and they just don't stand the test of time.
Seeing as you've done your first films at Bedford Cinema, my first film,
Yes.
I went with my Uncle Mike, my brother, and my two cousins, David and Andrew.
Is this at Bedford
it's
Cinema?
in Bedford Cinema.
Is this when your first film?
It first filmed
Yeah,
too.
okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What a movie!
2.
Even better. What was the song? The Ooze.
Yeah,
Right? Ninja, Rat. It had Vanilla Ice doing the song in it.
Yeah.
The Turtle films, the original Turtle films, were epic.
Yeah, they were
Absolutely
good.
brilliant. Yeah.
I'll be honest, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, I reckon. I don't mind the new ones
I've
that
not
they've
watched
done.
them. I'm not
I've not
watching
watched them.
anything by Michael Bay.
No. I saw a trailer for yet another reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series on Channel 5 this morning. And they've just ruined them even more. It's like, each time they do it, they make it worse.
The original cartoon and the original movies were brilliant.
Oh yeah, I've still
Yeah.
got some of the cartoons on video.
Do you
Yeah.
remember, though, it was called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles in this country, but Ninja Turtles in the US, because they didn't let it be advertised as ninjas because they thought that was too aggressive for the UK population.
Yes, because we're British and over here we don't like aggression. We're all very sorry. So Bedford Cinema, eh?
Yeah, it's very unpredictable. There's been so many years now where we've thought that Cineworld is going to go out of business for various reasons.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's still just hanging on in there. Do you remember the guy who set himself on fire?
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember that story?
Yeah, wow, I
Yeah.
totally forgot. That's kind of one of them stories that...
You think it's an urban legend, but it
Yeah,
isn't.
or
But it
you think it happened
happened.
in America or something, yeah.
No. And it was like, I can't remember the story. We won't go into why it happened and stuff.
Fired employee.
Was
I
it?
didn't want to talk about it.
There's probably some kind of legal thing that says that we can't talk about that.
Allegedly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did totally forgot about that.
So Cineworld's got some stories. We all have
Yeah.
stories because we were young and it was
Yeah.
a
Nostalgia.
normal Saturday thing for us to go to the cinema. And that was just a place to be in, just hanging out at Aspect, going playing the machines at Mcbride.
Yeah, going to Mcbride, not spend any money. But the people that did spend money, the money went into the staff's pockets anyway. So...
Allegedly.
Well,
Yeah, no, that happened.
I like playing on the dance thing.
I just got cramp.
As you said, dance. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just got cramp.
And wasn't there a Wimpy burger in there?
Yeah,
Was
of
it
course it was.
Wimpy?
I did shifts in Wimpy, helped out, and when Wimpy needed help, Mr. Wimpy would come up to me and be like, "All right, Ryan, I need some help," and I'd be like, "Wimpy, no problem."
I never played bowling. I never went bowling in Mega Bowl.
I miss Mega Bowl. I was
miss
there.
bowling.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to take all the funny stories away, it is quite fun bowling, but that's a bit like the cinema. It's quite expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. It's better than... For me, I watch TV and I watch films on my TV all the time. But there's something about going to the cinema and some things you have to see on a big screen.
Yeah, definitely.
And the experience. And
So one of my ideas about because we were talking about how like
Yeah.
confectionery blah blah blah, that if they made that cheaper, I think that would make it a bit more attractive for people, because the kids go in there, they see all those sweets everywhere. That probably puts some parents off, doesn't it? Because they're like, I don't want to have to tell my kid that I'm not paying £10 for a packet of Starburst. But maybe if it's like a big movie like the next Marvel film that comes out, with your cinema ticket, it also includes a code for 50% off the download when it comes out. So you keep your cinema stub, and then when the film comes out, you go online, you download it, but you get 50% off. So
Yeah.
they still make the money from the download. That's stopping someone from downloading the movie illegally, and you're getting bums on the seats in the cinema.
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
They'd have to work in junction with maybe Apple or Amazon.
They
or
could work
something
it out,
like
couldn't
that.
they? Yeah, I think that could work.
That could work.
Maybe that's... I imagine if I've thought of that being as thick as I am, someone probably has
Yeah.
already thought of
We
that.
just want to say that is Ryan's idea. Ryan
Copyright
Devine.
Ryan Devine,
Yeah.
Bed Hair Extraordinaire, 50% off download with a
your-
cinema
yeah.
ticket.
So if
All right.
anyone goes and does that now,
Yeah.
without asking Ryan and
That
paying
is
lots of money,
legally binding.
We know the dragons are listening, so if you want to invest with us, happy days.
Yeah, well, we know that John Oliver is definitely listening because, like I said, I know him. So I told him to listen in. It makes it sound like we're doing it live, but we're not. We're recording it and then we'll put it out. But yeah.
And also, if you want to comment with any other ideas that you guys might have that would encourage you to go to the cinema, let's talk about it because we want these places to stay.
Yeah, we definitely want to be approachable, and if you have ideas about Bedford's film industry kind of thing, you know, cinema, blah, 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 but also just films in general, stuff we want to talk about, if there's something that you've thought about that makes, I said this earlier, but Batman vs Superman, why it's so good, please send it to me because I need all the help I can get.
Saying it over and over again doesn't make it true.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even look at my notes. I mean, I've got 2 A4 sides of paper that says how good it is.
so not as much as mine.
But I wrote in really big writing. Okay, shall we play a local Bedford artist?
Yes.
We should.
Let's do it. Michael Greene, our good friend Michael Greene, who's just one of those guys that everyone knows. He's one of those like local Bedford people.
Yeah.
That Michael Greene. Oh, I know Michael Greene. Yeah. You look at his Facebook friends list, and he's got like 2,000 friends. So yeah, he is a singer-songwriter. He regularly performs in Bedford. He does a lot of the open mic nights and stuff. There's loads of different pubs, I think like probably each night of the week that you can go and check him out. He's got a new album out, and you can check it out on Spotify, or you can just go directly to his website, which is www.michaelgreenmusic.com. The new album's called Perceptions. It's his 3rd studio album. It's very cool, it's very suave. It's kind of a real kind of R&B, pop, soul kind of feel. We're going to play one of his songs for you now, and when we do any social media posts, we'll put in a link to his page and Spotify and stuff like that. But this track is Walk Over. Noise. That was Michael Greene with... Why are you guys laughing? They're laughing because I said noise. Right. That was Michael Greene with Walkover. Cool tune. Cool dude. Go and check out a... did I say check
You
weird
said
then?
check out.
Yeah, in my head I wasn't sure if I said check or... Okay. Yeah, cool dude, man.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Greene with Walkover. Please check him out soon.
What's up, guy?
Yeah. No, genuinely though, great tune. And actually, I've listened to the album. There's some banging tunes on there, so it's well worth listening to. And actually, as well, Bedford has got a really good music scene. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that will want to get into music. You might not necessarily have the confidence. One thing I know Michael does is he does like lessons about how to perform. I imagine he covers like confidence and stuff in there. I'm making some really good points, and Rob's looking at... What are you looking at?
Fantasy football.
Rob's looking at... We've lost him. And you're looking at Facebook. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, my days. And now we're kicking each other under the table. Oh, my God. Okay. So, yeah, check out Michael Greene, and let's move on. So, we're going to move on now to a segment that we're going to discuss regularly, and it is called Gone Too Soon. And I'd really like to hear from people for your ideas of who we should talk about. But essentially, it's going to be about actors and actresses that died before their age. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be like, you know, in that 27 club or under 30. There are people like, think about like John Candy. He was a lot older than who we're about to talk about, but he definitely died too young. But yeah, died too young. They had so much more to give. What's really interesting about it is what movies do you think, what movie roles do you think they would have taken had they not died? So, for instance, just off the top of my head, River Phoenix, I feel like he may have taken quite a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio roles. Possibly. Because I think they're like similar age. They were both kind of big. They were young in the early 90s, blah, blah, blah. I think River Phoenix would have been a little bit older than... Anyway, it doesn't matter. But that's the idea of the show. But Rhiannon is going to do this episode's Gone Too Soon. And you are going to be discussing...
Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, Brittany Murphy sadly died in 2009. In the end, it was down to pneumonia. She was only 32.
Oh, I thought she was part of the 27 Club.
No, 32.
Oh, really? Okay.
She'd be 40 now. She'd be 41 in November.
So it wasn't that long ago.
No, not really. She probably wasn't in Hollywood's eye as much as some other actresses, but she was certainly in some big films, certainly of our generation. The first one being Clueless.
Classic.
1995, yeah. Classic 90s film. Just the fashion, the music, the cheese, the story based on Jane Austen's Emma.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Is it really?
adapted from modern day, yeah.
Because Clueless was originally a TV show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then is the movie the same cast, or is it a whole separate?
It's some of the same cast.
Because it's Alicia
Silverstone.
Yeah, is she in the TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's adapted from Jane Austen's Emma.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And Brittany Murphy played Ty, who was a new girl in school, and I think a lot of girls, I mean, I was only 9 when it came out. I don't think I saw it when I was 9. But when I saw it, I was certainly at that kind of stage in my life where I didn't have any confidence and always, you know, worried about how I dressed and how I looked and how boys perceived me and how other girls perceived me. I don't give a shit about any of that now. But certainly at that age, when I saw the movie, I did. And Ty didn't care.
Yeah. It's good to have role models like that.
Yeah,
mine was Blink-182.
Oh, yeah, I love Blink-182, yeah. So she just strolls in, just like, yeah, and I fancy this guy, I don't care what people think. And then Alicia Silverstone's trying to say, no, you need to do this, that, and the other. But rather than it being like a makeover and matchmaking film that completely changes Brittany Murphy's character, she doesn't change on the inside, she does just change on the outside, which gives her more confidence. And I think that is what a lot of girls, teenage girls, certainly get in touch with. And it's a good film. Got Paul Rudd in it. Did you know that?
Yes.
Paul Rudd pops up in a lot of
I
movies
know.
in the early 90s and you don't realise.
Yeah.
Actually, in the next segment we're going to talk about movies that we're looking forward to, and mine is Halloween, and he pops up in one of the early Halloween movies.
Cool.
Yeah. But Brittany Murphy,
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from her acting because she was a really good actress, and
Yeah.
obviously we're going to talk about the movies that she was in, but I've just got to say I fancied the pants off her.
Yeah,
She was
she's
hot.
Stunning.
Yeah,
she's
really
not
hot.
your classically good-looking Hollywood actress, but there was something special about
She was
her.
she was that quirky, kind of
Yeah.
like that Zooey Deschanel.
Zooey Deschanel, yeah.
That kind of like not what you'd consider like a pin-up kind of box standard Hollywood beaut, but she was fit as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
All I'll say, like we said earlier, 8 Mile. Done.
Yeah.
So-
But yeah, she is hot as hell in that. But Spun
yeah,
is one of my all-time favorite cult movies, and she's so good in that. Like, too funny. The scene with the dog when she
Yeah.
takes the dog into the vets, and it turns green because of all the meth smoke everywhere. But she's just so scatty. It was absolutely brilliant.
she's so versatile. I don't think she had enough opportunity to show that off. She did quite a lot of independent films, but she also did some quite big films. Sin City, 8 Mile.
Oh yeah, Sin
I
City.
forgot
Yeah.
that's in City.
Yeah, brilliant. And
Yeah.
what was the comedy she did? Was it Just Married? Yeah, Just Married.
Just Married
Yeah,
with
she was
Ashton Kutcher,
good in
and
that,
then
yeah.
they dated from that as well for a little bit.
See, those movies like Just Married and
yeah.
like another Ashton Kutcher one, What Happens in Vegas.
Yeah.
They're the kind of movies that you turn your nose up to, but then you end up really enjoying them.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
find.
massively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good entertainment. Just
Yeah,
is what it is.
and it was just she was in. I mean, Clueless is certainly one of my favourite films, but also the mockumentary Drop Dead Gorgeous. She was in that as well, alongside Amy Adams and Kirsten
Yeah, I've not
Dunst.
seen this. I need to watch this.
And Kirsten Dunst just disappeared off the
I
face of the earth.
love Kirsten Dunst.
She popped up in something recently. I think a lot of those actresses go into like Netflix shows and stuff
Yeah.
that used to be in films because they were good actresses but hot.
And this is what brings me on to what would she be doing now?
That is a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, she'd be 40. So she wouldn't be doing a lot because she's a 40-year-old woman
Okay.
In Hollywood.
Yeah.
in Hollywood. And unfortunately, the roles for that age group just aren't written in Hollywood movies. So she probably would be on a Netflix show, some kind of TV program. I actually thought this morning she'd be good and it would make it funnier if she was in Melissa and Joey. Have you seen that?
What, with Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No, that character.
Oh, if she, yeah, but that's the
Yeah.
show you're on about, Melissa.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
oh, okay.
she could like
Oh,
be
I
in
think, I
something
don't
like
know.
that.
That's selling her a little bit short, don't you think?
No, but it would be funnier.
I've
It
never
would be
watched it.
Better
It looks.
if she was in it.
Clarissa Explains It All was brilliant.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or just like she'd be in some kind of
Quirky
sitcom.
Like, I mean, like New Girl or something like that.
She'd have been
Like-
good in How You Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of those shows I just couldn't like.
I love
No.
it.
Some in the words of Alan Partridge, he likes American things. Some American things are really good. Like there's some really good comedies. Me and
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I love Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Nine- but then I love Andy Samberg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like anything he does is just genius. Hot Rod. Have
Yeah.
you seen Hot Rod? Oh, that's why at my wedding we walked into "You're the voice, don't understand it," because of that montage scene and
Yeah.
yeah, but
But
yeah,
basically, because of her age, she wouldn't get the lead roles.
no, I think what it is there's less roles.
Yeah.
So you got to
not
think
enough
she's
roles are
probably. I
written.
mean, how old is Natalie Portman? She must be.
Similar age.
Probably similar age.
Yeah, I mean, she's still.
37.
Yeah. Obviously, there are exceptions to the rule,
Yeah.
but I mean, I have a statistic.
Do it.
Past 40, 80% of lead roles go to men.
Really?
Yes, only 20% lead roles go to women. So that's just my statistics to say this is why I think Brittany Murphy would probably be more of a Netflix star. Like Winona Ryder, Stranger Things, brilliant.
Don't even
I
start
think that's
with
the best
Stranger
thing
Things.
she's done. Like probably since Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just gonna say on the record that I love Stranger Things, and
Yeah.
we better not even talk about it now because I won't shut up about it. But it
Okay.
is literally the best thing ever. If you all just kind of look over Rob's shoulder,
Which you cannot do, but I can.
There is my Stranger Things framed poster. It is too good. I run a football team in Bedford called Hawkins Football Club, and it's named after the town in Stranger Things. But we'll talk about Stranger Things because season 3 is coming soon, so that'll be a good. I know. Tell me about it. I'm going to book the whole time off work. I can't wait. Giving myself a Chinese burn. I'm so excited. Have you seen it?
I have to admit, I haven't.
Oh, we're gonna have to just do an Stranger Things
binge
whole episode
Fane can
talking
do that
about
because
it.
he loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we give a little shout out to Fane?
Hi, Fane.
Because Fane is Rhi's
half.
man.
Yeah.
And he's not here today, but we are very much looking forward to his input.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's looking after the baby.
Cool. So, is there anything else you want to say more
Just
about
that
Brittany Murphy?
she was such an amazing actress. She was underrated.
Very versatile.
But the parts that she did were so powerful. Particularly Girl Interrupted. Did any of you see that?
Love that film.
Yeah, with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And again, Winona Ryder.
Yes.
Yes. I think I've seen bits of it.
Yeah, so they're all a similar age. Again, Angelina Jolie, where she is at the minute.
Might have a few
She's
problems at home.
Hollywood movie.
So-
She's a director.
Oh,
And
she's directing, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
she directed a couple of films. Can't think of the names, but they're good.
Yeah.
And obviously, she does a lot of charity stuff, doesn't she? So she's keeping busy. But
Yeah. But
she was a big, actress, weren't she? You're right, though. She has kind of dropped off the face of the
Yeah.
planet in terms of lead roles. I think Salt might have been the last big film she did.
That's the last one I can really remember.
Yeah.
Secret Agent. Was she some kind of agent?
In the
that?
film,
Yeah.
yeah. Something like that, yeah. I never watched it, but...
It's good.
Yeah. Did she do The Tourist with Johnny Depp? Or was that another...
That was Angelina
actress?
Jolie, I
Yeah.
think.
I feel like
But,
that was her.
the last couple of films she did weren't great.
No.
But then maybe she's smart. I mean, I'm not saying it's right that she should have to then think, all right, well, I'm getting to that age now where I'm not going to get the lead roles. But it is very smart that she's gone into directing and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
some
Elizabeth
women do
Banks is a great actress. Like Zach and Miri Make a Porno. It's one of my favourite Kevin Smith movies.
Oh.
And she's gorgeous and so funny. She's so good in 40-Year-Old Virgin. I feel like that's the film that kind of got her notice. But she's gone into directing, hasn't she? She's done Pitch Perfect, I think 2 and maybe 3.
Oh, I love those films.
I've never seen them, but I watched a trailer the other day. We put in an old DVD and it had a trailer for Pitch Perfect. I was like, I don't really fancy that. And Rachel's like, no. It's really
They are
funny.
so
You'll
good.
enjoy it. Yeah.
They are lols.
One of my favourite films is Grease.
Yeah,
And I imagine it's
Fantastic.
kind of in the same vein, musical, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
not really.
Talking about musicals, though.
Oh, musicals are different, a whole other...
Another subject
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I know.
What is your favourite musical? Put it in the comments.
And don't say High School Musical.
No, that doesn't count.
Everybody else would just say Greatest Showman, I'm sure.
No, Calamity Jane. No.
Is Blues Brothers a musical or is
Well,
it just a
yes,
film?
of course
Well,
it
no,
is.
that's a debate on
It's
its
not
own.
a debate.
No, because it's different to Grease and stuff.
No, but it's still a musical.
My top favourite film, 3 favourite films, is Jaws, Blues Brothers, and Swingers. Have you guys seen Swingers?
That's a really
No.
strange top 3.
That's John Favreau, isn't it?
Yes, correct, Amondo. Yeah, but it is a strange. But then it's you can't have 2 favourite action films, can you? Because how do you I kind of try to categorise them a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
We wish you were still with us. I think you could have done some really good roles. Still, I think you would have
Yeah.
nicked some roles off some other people.
Yeah, maybe Sin City 2 would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
could
I've
do
not
that.
even seen that actually.
Don't.
Yeah, I
Not
looked at
It's
the
a
rating.
disappointment.
Yeah,
Especially after the first one was so good.
the first
and
one is
so
so
well done.
good. Yeah. Okay, well let's move on. We're nearing the end of our very first episode.
Thank you for bearing with us all this time.
Yeah, it's a learning process, but I think we're getting there. But we're going to just very quickly now talk about movies that we're looking forward to. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
No.
About Brittany Murphy?
No.
Rhi was clicking her
No,
pen.
sorry.
I thought you were trying to get my
Nervous
attention.
habit.
Oh, okay. Bit like Jesse Einsberg in as Lex Luthor.
As the Joker.
As Lex Luthor.
As Lex Luthor. As the
But maybe
Joker.
that's the thing. He is secretly the Joker, and they're doing a big twist. Just very quickly.
He is going to Arkham.
Just very quickly though.
Yes.
That would be really clever actually if they did that, but they're probably not going to do that. But
Spoiler alert.
talking about what DC are going to do. Are they going to carry on with the current phase, like Marvel call it phase, or are they going to ditch what they've done? Maybe keep Wonder Woman, but get it because there's rumors that Ben Affleck doesn't want to do Batman anymore. There's rumours about Henry Cavill, whatever his name is. Blah, 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 blah. Suicide Squad, you had Jared Leto, and I think that's another thing we can talk about, whether Jared Leto is a good...
we can argue about.
We can argue about. But what I was going to say was, Joaquin Phoenix is doing an Origins movie playing the Joker.
Ooh.
So where does that place in this whole DC thing? That's probably going to have to be something that we discuss at a later time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I read that the other day, that Joaquin Phoenix has signed on to be the Joker.
Interesting.
Which I think is cool, but I did really like Jared Leto as a Joker. He couldn't do it the same as Heath Ledger, could he?
No. Interestingly, gone too soon.
Heath Ledger.
I'm sure we'll talk about him in one.
And
one
he is
episode.
part of the 27 Club, I think, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, like, there's so many things to talk about. But what we're going to move on to now quickly is movies that are coming out soon that we're looking forward to. Or, in Rob's case, movies that have just been announced. So let's go straight to Rob.
Yes, well, back from my childhood days, I loved this video game. Don't worry, no, they're not doing Street Fighter. That film was shit.
Oh, no, it was not.
The original was good. The Jean-Claude Van Damme version was
That's
epic.
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, wow.
They did do another one.
And Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue.
There are so many stories about filming that film that I've read and seen about.
I don't care. It's just...
We will have to discuss that at a later date.
Pure cheese, but brilliant.
Yeah.
The
Go on.
film that I'm so excited for is Doom. If you don't know the presence, it's basically demons come from hell and they fight them on Mars, and it's amazing. The Rock did a version of Doom,
Yeah.
which was not good.
Pants.
But they've redone a game in 2016, which is fantastic. I play it all the time, and they've announced another game.
Oh yeah, I've got that on the Xbox.
Yeah, it's great.
But Doom, just to give a bit of backstory about Doom, it was like the original kind of
First-person shooter.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
after Wolfenstein 3D, done by the same people, ID Software. I am a geek, I admit it.
there you go, and Duke Nukem.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
come
that
get
was good.
some.
Yeah. Oh, that's better. When he pisses in the toilet.
Yeah.
And he'd go to strip clubs and stuff. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. But yeah, Doom.
But no, yeah, it's very early stages. Literally, they've only just announced it. Universal were making
There's no,
confirmed cast yet.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited because I'm a geek.
Yeah.
About
Brilliant.
3 years away, maybe.
Yeah.
And they could drop it. I mean, it depends on like if
Reception.
you kind of put the idea out, see if it gets to social media. It's different now, isn't it? Film announcements.
Yeah.
You put the idea out there, see what people think. Are they going to buy tickets? Depends who they put in it.
Yeah.
They could still probably put The Rock in it, to be honest, because
Right.
he's a massive actor, isn't he? Although I think he's starting to peak now. I think like his very latest film might not have.
No.
Was
What
it?
was his latest film?
That's.
Was he battling some kind of creature? An ape or something?
Oh yeah, Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah, that's based on a.
The
Yeah, that's
tower
what.
block thing.
Yeah, the tower
Oh,
block
yeah.
thing. Yeah, the skyrise
skyscraper.
How hard does this man work? Because he does all these films, and he does at least 5-6 a year.
Yeah.
He's like
got
the
this
highest
TV
paid actor, isn't he?
TV series Ballers, which is incredible, by the way. I love that. And that's done by Mark Wahlberg. He's a really good director.
And he's the voice of Maui in Moana.
Yeah.
And he's got an amazing singing voice.
Which you'd never have thought, would you?
No.
I don't know. I mean, when he used to do "If You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking," I think probably it was quite obvious he had a good voice, to be honest.
Yeah. But then again, I was watching some old WWF footage, and he was a big guy then, but
Yeah.
now he makes
I
him look
know.
tiny.
I know. Do you know? I was flicking on TV last night and I caught the end of Daddy's Home,
Oh,
which is a great movie, and I really enjoyed the second one
It
as well
is.
last Christmas. But
That's on tonight on TV.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's probably. Is it like Film 4? They repeat the same movies over and again.
I don't know.
It's
but
one of those channels
we
like
don't have it
ITV4,
on DVD,
Film 4.
so
You'll
we'll probably
watch it.
watch
Yeah,
it.
it's a brilliant film. But so Mark Wahlberg, obviously throughout the film, he's this very like muscular, handsome man. But then at the very end, you get John Cena show up on a motorbike. His arms, it is
I think they're
freakish.
thicker than me.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I mean, and Rhi, you're massive. Yeah, no, but yeah, big muscles. Talk to me, right?
what's your film, Rhi?
Fantastic Beasts, the some whatever Grindelwald.
Hands up,
Grindelwald,
who's
Right.
seen the first one?
We have, if
I love Harry Potter, love the whole series. I'm actually hoping to get my niece and nephew over for like a monthly sleepover and watch Harry Potter because they've not seen any of them. But I'm sad to say that I've not seen this new.
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, not seen it.
right. I'm really looking forward to it because Harry Potter did get darker as it went on.
yeah,
That was what was so good
Yeah.
about it. Like you grew up with it, so
Yeah.
it like started kind of like magic, blah blah blah, and then by the end it was like scary as fuck.
And Fantastic Beasts is the first one's probably not as dark
No.
as the later Harry Potter, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the next one
will be.
will be another
So,
step forward.
I'd
Let's-
put it at Goblet of Fire kind of level.
Yeah,
Kind of
maybe.
mid-range.
Yeah.
So who does it follow?
Dumbledore, played
Yep.
by Jude Law, so a young Dumbledore. Obviously Newt, who's the main character of Fantastic Beasts.
Who plays
anyway.
Newt again?
Eddie
Eddie
Redmayne.
Redmayne.
Yeah, so,
Love
so,
Eddie
who,
Redmayne.
so who is that guy?
He
Who is the character?
wrote-
Who's Newt?
He is a keeper of magical creatures. He's writing a book.
Yeah, he was at Hogwarts.
Yeah, he was a student at Hogwarts, so he knows
So
Dumbledore.
does it feature a young he who should not be named?
That could
Not
be.
that we know of.
Yeah.
Because surely, if it's a bit of an origin thing, he's at some point. Because we're not going to say his real name because we don't want him to appear and scare the shit out of us. But what was his human name before he turned into
Tom Riddle.
Tom
no,
Riddle,
I don't
yeah.
think he's going to be in this.
Although Grindelwald was a Death Eater.
Yeah.
And it's about the crimes of Grindelwald, so there's major...
I think
They'll be
if they keep it
connected.
going,
Yeah.
they'll probably he'll.
I don't
make
want
an
them to keep it
appearance.
going too long.
No, I reckon
because-
4 films max.
Oh, I don't think more than 3.
Shall we discuss Johnny Depp's casting and all the stuff about him, like all the
Yeah.
not the hatred, but like a lot of people had a problem with his casting.
I don't. Well, when it was revealed that it was him at the end of the first one, I don't really think anything of it. I just thought, oh, look, it's Johnny Depp.
I thought it was really well
Again.
done. And I
But-
love Johnny Depp. And I
But
thought it was
it's
great
more to
casting.
do with the politics of whether Johnny Depp should be given a platform to continue his
Yeah,
career with all
Johnny
the stuff
Depp-
that's going on.
Is never going to not have a platform. He's too big. He makes too much money.
He's a flipping good
And he's an
actor.
amazing actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that someone like Kevin Spacey's career has been crushed
I was gutted
when
about
he
that.
is also an
Yeah.
amazing actor.
It totally has ruined American Beauty for me, which is one of my all-time
Yeah.
favourite films.
There's loads of films I could
Yeah,
talk about
Seven.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Usual Suspects.
yeah.
Oh, one of my
Life
Yeah.
of David Gale. Oh, we could just
But
keep going, couldn't we?
That's not going to happen to Johnny Depp because he's not homosexual.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could happen to Johnny Depp if something really bad
Yeah.
come out, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, domestic abuse still doesn't have the
Apparently
same.
that's fine. Yeah.
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 But then it's it's one word against the other, isn't it?
yeah.
but
But
the-
that should have been the case with Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, but I think a few people came out to
Maybe.
speak against
maybe.
him.
In the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the politics behind Hollywood actors, obviously I am very much for the Me Too campaign.
Yeah, of
and
course.
both male and female actors who have experienced sexual harassment should come forward. But there is a point where personal lives shouldn't come into it. Obviously, Johnny Depp, domestic abuse, that's a massive deal. Why he's not had jail time, I don't know.
The thing is, okay, we're probably getting a bit deep into it, but there was video evidence backed up, wasn't there? Because
Yeah.
she sent that she did. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Like they could have been in the middle of an argument, and he throws a glass at her, and yeah, that is you don't do that.
It's
like you don't know. I mean, we probably shouldn't even be going here, really, but
No.
we don't know what happened before she started filming. She could have been fucking throwing
Yeah.
punches at him or something,
Knives.
but yeah, but it's a shame to see his fall from grace because early 80s, like from when he was doing small bit parts in A Nightmare on Elm
Jump
Street, 21 Jump Street,
Yeah.
but that's where kind of humble beginnings, and then he just a phenomenal actor. We don't really want to see his career derail, do we? Because we still
Not
feel
really.
like when he was young and beautiful, And
He
did,
is
like,
still beautiful.
he is still pretty beautiful, but I
Yeah.
also feel like he probably hits the bottle a bit too much, and he could end up being the next Mickey Rourke.
Ah,
That would be sad, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Plus, I want another Pirates film.
really?
I haven't seen.
No.
I've watched the first one and thought, yeah, that was
Oh, no,
good.
two's
And then
good.
after that, well, I think I might have seen one or
Yeah.
two, but yeah. That reminds me of something though about universally hated but debated. You don't like Lord of the Rings.
No, I hate it.
We're going to go there another time.
Yes.
But Rob doesn't like Lord of the Rings. Do you like Lord of the Rings?
I can see for or against. I
Well,
can
that'll
see
make
for
it a
and
very
against.
evened,
Yeah.
well-balanced
Yeah.
Discussion.
then. Okay, cool. So you're looking forward to Fantastic
Yeah,
Beasts.
and you?
And I am very much looking forward to a movie that is not the first time that a movie with the title has been out. In fact, if I can just reach over to my box set, there's at least 10 or 11 movies, but and reimaginings by Rob Zombie. But there is a new Halloween movie coming out. And what's good about this one, because problem with the Halloween movies, it's a bit like a lot of these kind of movies, they end up just banging them out one after the other. Some of them are good, they got good bits, some of them are shocking. The last one had Busta Rhymes in it, and it was really, really bad. And it was like reality TV show gone wrong, where they go into Michael Myers' house and then he ends up being there, blah, blah, blah. It was really bad. But no, this one follows on straight after the first one, so they basically ignore the other 10 movies that have come out since. And again, you know how I said earlier about how what I think they could do with DC is getting new writers that you don't necessarily associate with action films, maybe getting some comedy writers or some writers from, like, I don't know, like the writers from True Detectives.
Okay.
Like, maybe get those guys, because those guys wrote a killer script. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that the writers of Halloween is actually one guy whose name I can't remember, and Danny Mcbride.
Oh, really?
You know who Danny Mcbride
Yeah.
is? Danny Mcbride?
No.
Danny Mcbride is predominantly a comedy actor. You'll find him in movies like This Is the End, where he's the guy that wakes up in the bath and doesn't realise there's an apocalypse, and he eats all the food and does all the
Pineapple
drugs.
Express.
Pineapple Express. Obviously, Hot Rods. All those kind of movies with like Andy Samberg, Seth Rogen, that like kind of new
James
era
Franco.
of Rat Pack comedy guys. But he has done some serious stuff. So he was in the new Alien film.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's good.
I thought it was really good. Yeah, so his wife dies.
Yeah.
That, spoiler alert, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he's writing it with his kind of writing partner. And it's got the original actress in.
Jamie
Lee Curtis, thank you for prompting me. And she's kind of spent her whole life waiting for Michael Myers to return. And it just looks really stylish. It looks like it's going to be well written. And I think it's just going to be really good.
So it's not directly after, it's...
No,
years after.
yeah, it's set a long time after.
But it's just ignored all the other
Ignored all the other movies. Even though there was a Halloween 2 that was good, and it follows directly after the first Halloween. It follows like her waking up in the hospital, and then she gets attacked again by Michael Myers. But just like, well, I think what happens is, at the end of the first Halloween, Michael Myers gets shot. And at the end, they look in the spot where he is, and they're like, oh, he's gone, where is he? But I think in this new version, they do actually get him, and it starts with him in prison.
Oh.
Yeah, and then obviously he's going to escape, but she's ready for him. And it just looks really good.
Cool.
Love Jamie Lee Curtis.
True Lies, what a film.
Oh, yeah, see, Changing Places.
Yeah.
Don't want to be sexist, but she gets a rack out, and my goodness. But what I really love about Jamie Lee Curtis is she was obviously, an actress in her heyday, was very well known for being a hottie. Did you see sometime in the last few years, she did like a front cover pose, and she basically went au naturel. She was like, I don't have a boob job. I have put on weight because I'm older. I'm not wearing makeup. This is what women look like.
Oh,
so she's a real. You should look it up because she is a real advocate for not putting pressure on women to look a certain way and stuff like that. So you got to have take your hat off to Jamie Lee Curtis. She's just a great actress.
I can't remember a lot of roles. She was in Blues Brothers, though, wasn't she?
No, that's
No,
Carrie
it's-
Fisher.
Oh, I get them mixed
Carrie
up when
Fisher's
they're
a great
younger.
actress. Yeah, I suppose they kind of look similar. But yeah, she was beautiful
Yeah.
and very funny as well. She is very funny in
Yeah.
what movie did you just say?
True
True
Lies.
Lies. When she's seducing her husband and he doesn't realise.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, it's
the-
she doesn't realise that
Yeah.
it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That is a very funny scene. So yeah, Halloween. I think it is obviously coming out this Halloween, and I think it's going to be great. So we've got Halloween, Doom, and the latest Fantastic Beasts. So, having said all that, what movies are you looking forward to seeing? What would you like us to discuss? Do you wish we had never done this podcast? If that's the case, go fuck yourself. 'Cause we did it. You buy yourself your own microphone and GarageBand, and yeah, you recorded your own, and we can do like a Batman vs Superman Bedford podcast versus podcast. All right,
Yeah.
East Side, West Side
The Channel
podcast.
4 news team from Anchorman
Yeah.
turn up. So,
Yeah,
I can't
I'm kind of
find
a big deal.
I can't find the naked picture of Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm
it
very
exists.
disappointed.
Well, if you go into my bedroom and look up at the ceiling, that's the one. So thanks, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. It's a learning process for us. We probably rambled on a little bit at times. That's probably my fault.
This will be heavily edited.
definitely his fault.
It is my fault, but hope you've enjoyed it. Looking forward to discussing more Bedford stuff because it is a great town. There's a lot of stories growing up in Bedford that we can talk about that somehow are connected to the film industry, and look forward to it. So
Didn't even mention Garnington Hangers.
didn't even mention Carditon Hangers. You're goddamn right, Rob.
Yeah.
There's so many good films that are being made there. We're very lucky.
Yeah.
Did you ever see when they shone the bat signal in
I
the sky?
didn't see it myself.
Or was that an
I
urban
knew.
legend?
Well, I knew people that lived in Wilstead at the time and they saw it.
Yeah. So obviously not an urban legend.
No.
Answers that
Do
question.
you
Yeah.
remember in the last Batman Christopher Nolan film, you could actually see the hangers in one of the shots at the start?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What scene?
Where they're flying the plane when they throw people out of it.
In Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
Oh,
You can see the hangers
no
in
way.
the-
I didn't know they did that scene. Okay, cool. All right, well, that's another thing to talk about. Card hanger hangers. Like I said, hope you enjoyed it. Keep in touch with us on social media. Tell us how shit we were. And, how great we were. We're gonna be great. Donald Trump supports
Oh my
bedhead.
God,
Is
stop
that the
it.
worst?
Right,
Is that...
bye.
Bye then. Toodle pip.